Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar, and here's a brand new halacha for you, and it is for Thursday, the 30th day of January. Here we go. First of all, I want to remind you that it's going to be a 2-day Rosh Chodesh. That's Thursday night going into Friday, all day Friday, Friday night going into Shabbos, and all day Shabbos, a 2-day Rosh Chodesh. And remember to add all the special Rosh Chodesh additions for those davenings. And now your halacha for today. This is part 5 of not eating before davening, and final part for not eating before davening, and that is, there's a general rule throughout our Torah. I'm going to give you an example of it, that when it comes time, let's say, to be near the time for reading of the Megillah on Purim, you're not allowed to start any meal within a half an hour of that, because the meal could drag on and cause you to delay or forget about doing the mitzvah of reading the Megillah. Well, that's going to apply here too for the case of davening. Starting at Alos HaShachar, that's the crack of dawn, that's when you are officially available to be able to start davening. So if you start a meal within a half an hour time of that, officially you're violating that same kind of law. You're eating in a half an hour time before the crack of dawn, and that meal could distract you from the general idea of I need to be davening, possibly if I'm up at the crack of dawn. So in order to avoid that problem, you'll have to set up certain kinds of things to make sure that you're available to be able to daven without violating that law. First of all, you could decide that you're only going to eat a small amount, like just some fruit, or just a drink, or even if it is something like cake, but a small amount of it. That's one solution. Another solution would be to have someone available as a shomer, kind of like a reminder watcher, who's going to watch that you don't continue to eat past the crack of dawn. If you have that kind of person established, that will make it permissible for you to start within a half an hour of dawn and eating, because that official reminder is going to remind you that, hey, it's the crack of dawn, you have to stop eating. And by the way, that has to be a person who's wide awake and available to be reminding you. It can't be just any person who you designate who happens to be sleeping right through this whole time. And lastly, that's going to be possibly hard for you to arrange. So what you could do is, Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky Zatzal, he said that what you could do is set something like an alarm clock, or a timer, or your phone or whatever, to beep or ring right at the moment of the crack of dawn to remind you to stop eating, or maybe just before the crack of dawn to remind you to stop eating. And if you do that, that can act as your kind of like shomer or watcher to make sure that you're not going to eat into the period during which you're not allowed to start any meal or get into any serious big eating before the time of the mitzvah begins. But by the way, to those of you people who want to follow this law and be careful not to start a meal within a half an hour of the crack of dawn, you might want to set up this exact same kind of arrangement to make sure, if you're one of those people like me who wakes up early to eat before a fast, not that there's a fast like immediately ahead in our future, but if there's a fast that begins at the crack of dawn and you want to eat right before, you can't violate this halacha, so you might, according to Rav Yaakov Kamenetsky, want to set a little beeper that's going to ring right before the crack of dawn comes, so you'll be reminded to not violate two halachas. You won't be eating into the time that's pre-davening, and also you won't be eating into the time that's a fast day. So that kind of shomer, that ringing watch or something, would be a good idea. Anyway, thanks for logging on, and remember, it's Rosh Chodesh starting Thursday night. Have a great day and log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.